Once again, welcome back to Crypto Toro, and I really appreciate your effort by being here. Let's take a look at the current charts, and what I wanted to show you actually is this news. Also, I will be discussing these three different types of articles, and I will be looking into the charts. And if you have any type of requests, do not forget to ask those as well, because I will be answering as many requests as possible. So let's take a look at what we're currently seeing on the Bitcoin chart. And for sure, what I think is personally very important is something we saw yesterday. And I wanted to start this live stream by showing you this tweet of Sonnet Degree. It's another crypto YouTuber, maybe you might know him, and he's actually tweeted this tweet that I will be retweeting right away. And it's actually about this. Trump called Bitcoin a competitor to the dollar. El Salvador accepts Bitcoin as a legal currency. Market already corrected 50%, over 50%, and Bitcoin became resilient to the Elon Musk FUD. And yes, this is for sure something of utmost importance, because just that the current market is telling us that Bitcoin was able to find support even while there was a lot of FUD, even while we had a lot of trouble. So I think that was a very nice tweet of him, and also that is what I wanted to show you, and I retweeted this tweet as well. So as well, I wanted to take a look at something different, and that is actually the tweet I posted yesterday. I said in this tweet that we were able to close above the orange box on the Bitcoin daily chart, but also the MACD did not cross over as we saw over here. So there is more momentum towards the upside coming up, and I wanted to show you this on the Twitter, because if you follow me on Twitter, down below on the description you will find the link towards the Twitter. It will be very nice. You will be stayed up to date about all cryptocurrency and all my calls about Bitcoin and other type of cryptocurrencies. So if we take a look, I was talking about this part of the chart over here. This is also on the Bitcoin daily chart, and what we're seeing is that the daily candle yesterday closed above the orange box at $33,513. So for sure, very important level that I've been talking about a lot lately during the live streams and also while during the videos, especially because if we take a look at previous data, it showed that it is a major level of support and resistance. We traded inside of the orange box for a while, but we found several times support on top of it over here before we broke out above. Even further, we found support on top of it as well. So I personally think this is a major level you have to take into consideration, and where Bitcoin is currently finding support. So for sure, very interesting to take a look at what is currently going on over here at this level of support and resistance. And I will be adjusting my orange box just a little, just perfectly like this. And what we are seeing over here is that this orange box, actually the daily candle, yesterday's daily candle, you might call it a doji candle as well, because this candle it has not a wide body as other candles. For example, the previous candle, this candle had a longer body, as you could see over here, and this doji candle doesn't. So for sure, this is also telling us that this might be a reversal for the upcoming hours or the upcoming days, and that we might see a small uptrend getting started. And also very important to take into consideration, as I showed during my tweet, is the MACD. And what we're seeing on the MACD is actually something of utmost importance. We are seeing that the MACD did not have a crossover. We saw the lines almost crossing over at this point in time, but we saw, very fortunately, not a crossover on the MACD. We did not see more downward momentum getting started, and we are actually right now seeing upward momentum getting created. So how could this possibly turn out to be? It could be a small momentum towards the upside, but it could also be a major second wave of momentum right away. So this could mean that we would see Bitcoin once again heading towards that 42k level where I've been talking about, and what I personally think will be the next target we have to take into consideration. And for sure, why I think this is very important to take a look at is because what I've been saying is that we will be trading in between the orange box and the $42,000 level. So in between the $30,000 and the $42,000, that's for sure something I think. And personally, I'm very pumped that we were able to find support on top of the $33,000 level, because this means Bitcoin is right now getting supported at this point in time. And let's take a look as well at the moving averages and at the EMA ribbon and what they are currently telling us. So I will be starting off by selecting the moving averages. So at the $42,000 level, we won't be only finding a major level of resistance, we will also find resistance by the all three moving averages over here. What these moving averages are telling us, these are major levels of support and resistance. And what we're seeing is that at approximately $40,992, we are seeing the 200-day moving average over here. This will be a major level of resistance. And also above the $42,000 level, we are seeing the 50 and the 100-day moving average. And so for sure, these moving averages will serve as major resistance levels once we try to test these levels above us. So this was just the moving averages, and if we take a look at the EMA ribbon, what we are seeing over here is actually that the EMA ribbon is telling us that it is also serving as a major level of overhead resistance, and we have seen that we have stayed for quite a while already below the moving averages, below the EMA ribbon. I'm very sorry for that. And once we tried to test the EMA ribbon, break above this level of resistance at approximately $39,525, the EMA ribbon and the level of resistance rejected us, and we saw that major momentum towards the downside getting started. And yeah, for sure, right now we are currently above the orange box, and I'm personally quite overwhelmed by this candle of today that started off green and also stayed above the orange box until now. So for sure, very interesting to see this, because this could mean that we are creating even more touch points above the orange box, and that this will become a major level of significant support and resistance. So for sure, very interesting. Once we break below this level, I think it will take quite a long time to recover from this major dump, especially because, as I told you before, it is a major level of support and resistance. So right now it's serving as a major level of support, but once we break below it, it will be very difficult to get above once again. So for sure, very pumped that this is the price action that we're currently seeing on Bitcoin. And let's take a look at the 4-hourly chart. And on the 4-hourly chart, you're seeing that the EMA ribbon actually rejected us. We saw that we went down below the orange box, but we got a level of over here where we were struggling to get above the resistance, but right now we saw that we broke above the resistance once again. But what is very interesting to see is that on the 4-hourly time frame, what we are seeing on the Bitcoin chart is that once again we are trying to retest the EMA ribbon, and that is for sure something of utmost importance. So why do I think this is very important and very interesting? I think this is very important for sure because if we take a look at this over here, it is telling us that it might be possible that Bitcoin will get rejected once again by the EMA ribbon, and will have to retest this level of major support and resistance. I'm personally hoping we won't see this happening, that we won't see Bitcoin once again heading further below, but I personally think that if this occurs, we will see for sure Bitcoin finding a support on the $30,429 level. So that is my personal opinion. I think that will be very likely to occur if Bitcoin breaks out towards the downside. Otherwise, I personally think that we will be still trading further up, maybe even getting above the EMA ribbon. But to actually conclude this possible break out towards the upside above the EMA ribbon and above the $35,000 and not get rejected by this major level of resistance at this certain point in time, we have to take into consideration as well not just only the EMA ribbon and the orange box, but also we have to take a look at what the RSI is saying to us and what the volume levels are saying. So the RSI is currently not oversold or overbought. It is not outside of the dotted lines on the upper area or on the lower part of the purple area where it trades in between. And I personally think that it is very possible that we will still see during the upcoming hours a momentum towards the upside getting started and Bitcoin retesting this level of resistance at $35,500. So that is for sure something very interesting to take a look at, and I think as well of utmost importance. And let's take also a look at if we are spotting any type of bearish or bullish divergence. And what we are seeing over here is actually over here we are seeing this high getting started. This high is a higher high than the high where we're currently at, and this is a higher high on this is a higher high than where we're currently at. But on the RSI we are seeing that over here at this certain point in time the RSI has a lower high than the high we're currently at. So you could be saying we will be creating in a short period of time. We have to take a look at what will be happening in the upcoming hours on the RSI, but for sure very interesting to take into consideration that we might be spotting a bearish divergence on the 4-hourly time frame. And the 4-hourly time frame, as I said before, is a very important and significant target for sure for Bitcoin. So you have to take into account that we might be seeing a bearish divergence getting created. So let's take a look a little bit further, and let's get back to the daily chart, because I want to take not just only into consideration the RSI but also the NVT of Bitcoin, and that is actually going to tell us if people are actually buying, selling, or if there will be a trend reversal. And what we are seeing here is actually a lot of people are right now selling their Bitcoin over here at this point in time, and that's just a pity. I think it's just the best moment right now is to accumulate Bitcoin as much as possible. And what we saw over here, this marks over here, this white, when the orange line becomes white, is actually telling us on the MVT that it is very probable that we will see a reversal getting started. And as you can see, we saw many times this white line already getting started during the previous couple of weeks, and we haven't seen a reversal or any type of pattern. And what we saw over here, once we were at the all-time high, we saw over here that it was telling us that we would go back down, and that is what occurred. We went straight back up, and once we were during its all-time high, we did not see a indicator. So it is very probable that right now it is very likely that we will be heading back up, especially because that is what we saw previously on the MVT. And what it's telling us is that people are selling their Bitcoin with losses. So I should say, do not do so. What you want to do eventually is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. So if you are enjoying the live stream so far, don't forget to place a comment in the comment section underneath, and we'll be very happy to see you joining our live stream right away. Also, let's take a look at what the MACD is telling us on the 4-hourly chart, because we took a look at the MACD on the daily chart where it did not have a crossover, but that could be something completely different on the MACD on the 4-hourly. But what is actually going on here, we are seeing a crossover occurred just several minutes ago, and right now we are seeing upward momentum getting started. So the MACD is looking good in both scenarios, as well on the daily time frame as on the 4-hourly time frame. And I think for sure that is something very interesting to take a look at, because that's telling us that we will probably see upward momentum getting started on the Bitcoin chart. And I personally think that we have to take into consideration that at these levels we will see major levels of support and resistance getting started. And of course, we have to take a look where we could be possibly heading towards. So, very sorry, guys. So, what are we seeing over here? We saw the breakout out of this symmetrical triangle getting created. Right now, we are currently in the middle of these two levels of Fibonacci, and I personally think that this level will serve as a major level of resistance where we have to trade above before heading further. And that's also at $35,543. So for sure, currently on the Bitcoin chart, I think personally it is very interesting to take into consideration what will happen, and if the 4-hourly candles today are able to break above this major level of resistance at $35,543. So for sure, very interesting. If we are able to find support on top, I personally think it is very probable that we will see eventually a major move towards the upside getting started, retesting the levels of resistance at $40,000. But before we will do so, we have to be able to find support on top of the $35,000 level, or trade where we are currently at above the $33,000 level for a while, in between the $33,000 level and the $35,000 level. So if we go back to the chart where I have drawn the resistance and support levels, what I want Bitcoin to do during the upcoming days is to break or above this level and find support on top of it at $35,500, or trade in between the $35,000 and go back down, find support on top of the $33,500, and just trade in between, accumulating before heading even further. So for sure, very interesting if this could occur on the Bitcoin chart. Once again, thank you very much for watching the live stream. If you are enjoying, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section, and let's go a little bit further and take a look at what's going on. So what is also going on in the market, and that's what I wanted to discuss, several things. I wanted to discuss also this news about El Salvador passes Bitcoin bill, counting to legal tender status begins. So let's take a look at this article. Bitcoin will officially become legal tender in El Salvador, a Central America country with a population of 6.5 million people, is just 90 days time after the country's president Nayib Bukele secured that he called a supermajority of 62 out of 84 votes in favor of a special bill in the Salvadorian Congress. So for sure, very, very interesting. What are they saying here? Exactly what they posted above, but this is from the Legislative Assembly of El Salvador, and what they are saying is: con 62 votos, el Pleno Legislativo aprueba la ley Bitcoin, con la que El Salvador adopta el Bitcoin como la moneda de circulación legal. So this is major news. So El Salvador is the first country to actually adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender, and I'm very, very pumped to see this occur, and especially because next year I'm going to Guatemala, I'm going on vacation, I'm going to visit. I lived there for many years, and for sure I will be going to El Salvador to take a look how Bitcoin is actually working over there and how they are able to make payments at all types of level with cryptocurrencies, and how Bitcoin is actually accepted by their government. So Bukele appears keen to expiate the process, details of which were only made public this past weekend at the Miami-based Bitcoin conference. He has already published the bill in the official Gazette, which means the countdown to promulgation has already begun. The bill The full text in English, of which we can be found below, contains clauses that many traditional economists will likely find surprising, including the provision that prices may be expressed in Bitcoin. Citizens and residents will also be allowed to pay tax in Bitcoin, while Bitcoin transactions will not be subjected to capital gains tax. However, for accounting purposes, the USD must be used as the official reference currency. So, very, very open-minded, I personally think, that they are able to pay even their taxes with Bitcoin, and while the transactions will not be subjected to capital gains tax. So for sure, very, very interesting. And however, they still have to use the US dollar as their reference currency. So they have to place all types of prices in US dollars. So Bitcoin related news stories dominated the country. Media. With multiple front page stories and leading newspapers such as elsalvador.com, which publishes the top selling print paper El Diario de Hoy. And what says El Diario de Hoy? Esta portada de Diario El Salvador de este miércoles 9 de junio del 2021. So this is the front page of the Salvadorian newspaper. And what is this saying? It is actually talking about the law that the assembly passed to accept cryptocurrencies, and that this is actually something very, very interesting. It is a major approval of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies overall, and I personally think it is just of utmost importance that we saw this major step towards a new phase of the Bitcoin era, where countries will slowly start to accept Bitcoin as a real payment method and also as a legal tender, as we see right now happening in El Salvador. And let's take a look a little bit further. Despite Bukele's seal, it appears that not everyone is in a position of power is quite ready for a Bitcoin revolution yet. ElSalvador.com quoted that the head of the Central Reserve Bank, Douglas Rodriguez, as stating that Bitcoin had displayed quite high volatility, although he added that the US dollar itself was not immune to the same phenomenon. So I think this is very good to know. This person, Douglas Rodriguez, he is quite critic about the high volatility of Bitcoin, and I think for sure that is something you have to take into account, especially if you are investing in cryptocurrencies. You have to know that it's a high volatility market, and you have to do your own due diligence before investing. But I think he is very right by saying that the US dollar itself is not immune to the same phenomenon. So it could occur that the dollar loses all its value from one day to another without even giving us a heads up. So that is for sure something very important. So BTC volatility does exist. There is quite high volatility, but also happens even with the dollar. Even the best currency experience volatility. Prices can go down or it can go up. They will not necessarily stagnate. So that's for sure something we all know. And then, yeah, all types of assets, cryptocurrency, whether it's cryptocurrency or it's a regular asset in the stock market, if you invest in something, you know there is a probable chance of its price losing its value or even becoming more valuable. So for sure, very interesting. So let's take a look. I will read the other part of the article as well, but I will be reading this just out loud without stopping. I just wanted to show you this over here. So at 9 o'clock UTC, BTC trades at 34,000 US dollars and it's up by almost 4% in a day, trimming its weekly losses to 6.5. It is best performing crypto asset today among the top 10 coins by market capitalization. And the economist and former president of the Central Reserve Bank, Oscar Cabrera, was quoted elsewhere by the same outlet as stating that wanting to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender only generates uncertainty, since it was not clear whether the measure will be supported by the central bank. Cabrera added that the timing of the new law also misjudged, as the country is currently negotiating a program with the International Monetary Fund. He concluded, cryptocurrencies have many risks and many of these are fraudulent nature. They are also very volatile and risky, and no financial regulator or prosecutor fully understands cryptocurrency. And I think over here he's just being overly negative. I said I wouldn't stop, but just at this point, I think for sure there are a lot of regulators that know what cryptocurrency is, exactly what it's playing on and how it actually works, but they are just ignorant and they do not want cryptocurrencies to take over the regular fiat currencies that we're seeing. So even more news about El Salvador. Another leading economist said that crypto showed no evidence of retaining its value over time and beyond the fact that it cannot be policed by financial regulators. Meanwhile, opposition MPs expressed concern, with the former presidential candidate Rodrigo Avila of the Arena Party claimed that the government should listen to cyber experts, as the new law specifies that any resident of the country who owns a computer or telephone is obliged to accept Bitcoin for any transaction. So that is for sure. I'm not sure if El Salvador is doing this completely right, for sure, because they are actually obliging their country to accept Bitcoin at any time. And there might be people that are not very aware about computers and they do not know how blockchain works or the overall market works, and they could be scammed eventually, because there are a lot of scam projects in cryptocurrencies in general. So I personally think they are right about that certain point, but for sure right now it's just Bitcoin that's a legal tender. So if people get involved in other types of cryptocurrencies, yes, for sure that is something that could be really negative, but they are actually just saying that Bitcoin is the payment method that they have to accept. So I personally think Bitcoin is for sure a coin that will stay, and right now we are seeing this, and that's very important. A number of nuevas ideas from Minister President spoke up in favor to the bill, with one claiming that the money laundering concerns were much more pressing with cash than with crypto, and that's for sure something I agree with. Bukele, meanwhile, appears to set a courting the global crypto community and wants to encourage business to set up shop in the country. He joined a live session on Twitter today that was attended by more than 20,000 participants, including politicians, bankers, diplomats, investors, and others, to field questions about his new bill and policies. Ask if he thought other countries would follow his lead, he answered. That's great news. Yes, hello Willeke, welcome to the stream. I'm very glad to see you once again. And yes, this is for sure very great news. And lastly, he said probably it will create a domino effect. Now we're doing the right thing. We are going to see a lot of countries change because of the bill, and it will likely be a better future. So for sure what he's aiming to do is to create a better future involving cryptocurrencies, and I think it is a very smart set of El Salvador to actually be one of the countries that integrates Bitcoin as a legal tender as the first country, because they will have a lot of benefits from it in the future. When cryptocurrencies in general will become mainstream, this country will have a lot of experience with those currencies and eventually will be a step ahead in front of other type of countries. So if you're interested in more news about El Salvador, this is quite a long article. I will be leaving the link down below in the channel, and I will be also sending this link right now in the comment section. So if you would like to take a look at it, just go to crypto news and you could take a look at this news as well. So I wanted to discuss as well a little bit further what could possibly happen with Bitcoin. For sure very interesting what the price action is telling us, and if we stay inside of these two, levels at 33,500 and 35,000. For the meanwhile, I think that would be a very healthy level of accumulation. To stay above the 33,500 level of support is for sure very important. And as I told you before, it is of utmost importance to stay above the orange box for sure. What I wanted to tell you as well is something very interesting. I just opened up a new Discord server, and if you are willing to join the Discord server, we would love to see you joining the community and exchanging your crypto knowledge with others. And if you're interested, go down below. You will find the link towards our Discord, and yeah, that's just very nice if you would like to join the Discord server for sure. So Villica, let's go to El Salvador. No tax, lots of Bitcoin. Yeah, for sure. I'm agreeing with that thought, and I'm very happy to say that my half sister lives in El Salvador, and she might be benefiting from this already. So I'm very jealous about that. She's living over there, and she is probably, well, she is one of the first persons that is living in a country where Bitcoin is a legal tender, and that's for sure something very interesting. And I will be talking with her shortly about her experience and how she's experiencing this transition of crypto and fiat. So that's something I would like to talk about later on during my live stream another day when I already contacted her. So let's take a look at Ethereum and what we're seeing over here. So Ethereum had a drop during the past 24 to 48 hours. We saw that that Ethereum broke up underneath this ascending triangle, and it is actually quite good that Ethereum did not drop all the way down compared to the US dollar. It is still holding strong, and if you ask me personally, I think this ascending triangle could still be in place if I place it, for example, like this, from the body from this candle all the way to here. We could be possibly saying that this could be still a ascending triangle. We are still trading inside of it. So if this daily candle is able to stay inside of this ascending support, it is quite likely that if we see a bounce towards the upside, once again retesting this horizontal level of resistance, it is very likely that we will see eventually play this ascending triangle itself out. So for sure, interesting what the price action of Ethereum is going to do. Yes, and for sure, Villica, once again, I will try to contact her, and it might be also possible that I will let her join one of the live streams eventually, maybe next week, so she can talk about the development of Bitcoin in El Salvador as well. So that is something I wanted to tell you. If I will be doing so, I will be announcing that big on my Discord server. You could just go to the announcement channel and you will find well, the announcement of me and my sister joining the live stream, maybe somewhere around next week. I already talked with her, and it might be possible that we will see that happen. So that is for sure something very interesting. Let's take a look at what we're seeing over here as well. So the volume of Ethereum on the daily chart is actually quite low, and it's not confirming the downward trend at all. We saw that during the previous major drop over here, this daily candle, this just insane daily candle, we saw this major momentum towards the downside, negative volume getting started, and right now we saw just a slightly negative volume, but we did not see a major volume towards the downside. And I personally think that this is also why we will be staying inside of the orange box. And what I think for sure is of utmost importance for Ethereum is that Bitcoin stays above the $33,500, and I personally think that is very likely to happen, also due to the fact that we saw the MACD on the 4-hourly time frame already had a crossover towards positive momentum, and also we saw that a momentum towards the upside was getting created not just on the MACD on the 4-hourly, but also on the daily chart compared to Bitcoin, and that will be for sure helping the Bitcoin price action going towards the upside. And let's enable the moving averages for Ethereum, and what we're seeing over here is that Ethereum is currently getting supported by the 100-day moving average, and also is getting supported by this ascending support line. And I think it is very interesting and of utmost importance that Ethereum stays above the 100-day moving average for sure, because these moving averages will serve as major levels of support and resistance. And also this orange box is a major level of support if Ethereum decides to break down even further. I personally think that we will be finding support somewhere around the $2,283 level. So for sure, very interesting to take into account where this could be heading towards. And yes, we have already seen 3 touch points on this ascending support, and already 3 or 4 touch points above on the horizontal resistance line. So if we see a breakout outside of this pattern getting started, that would be for sure something very interesting to take a look at, because if we see a breakout towards the upside getting created on the Ethereum chart, it is very likely that we will see Ethereum heading all the way up towards possibly the $3,665 level once again, and that would be just something absolutely wonderful, because if we see Ethereum heading all the way up, breaking above the orange box, a major level of support and resistance, that would be amazing, because if Ethereum does so, it is very likely that we will see Ethereum once again breaking above this orange box and finding support on top of it. For sure, it will be quite a difficult move, especially because the orange box will be serving as a major level of resistance as well. And if we break out towards the downside, let's take a quick look how that could possibly look like. And let's say we break out towards the downside right now. Let's say this daily candle does not hold strong above this ascending support and above the 100-day moving average, then we could be heading towards the $1,738 level. And I personally think that won't be occurring anytime soon, but if it does, you have to take it into account. But let's say if Ethereum breaks out towards the downside at the end of this pattern, once it decided to go all the way towards the last part of this ascending triangle, what could occur once it breaks below this ascending support line? Then we could see Ethereum breaking all the way down towards the approximate level of $2,000 US, and I personally think that would still mean that it's a healthy setback, especially because inside of the orange box we will see a major level of support getting created, also due to the 200-day moving average that is just a small tad below it, that will be serving as a major level of support as well. So for sure, on the daily time frame, Ethereum is holding strong, and also the moving averages are looking good. So if we take a look at the 4-hourly time frame and we enable the EMA ribbon, we are seeing that Ethereum is not able over here to stay above the EMA ribbon. And the EMA ribbon is actually currently serving as a major level of overhead resistance, and we are getting supported by this ascending support line. So this ascending support line is right now not drawn completely correctly, especially because if we take a look at this like this, possibly we could be seeing this ascending triangle getting started, but unfortunately we only have 2 touch points on the ascending support, and one of those touch points is where we are currently trading at. So I wouldn't call this a valid structure, but we could be just taking into consideration that this might be occurring, and this might be So for sure, very interested to see. And what is Willeke telling us? Willeke, you are saying maybe Ethereum takes over the dominant position of Bitcoin. And I personally think that if we take a look at, for example, here, the Bitcoin dominance has been going up lately. If we take also into consideration what we saw yesterday, we saw Ethereum approximately at around 19.2 or 0.3%, and we saw Bitcoin at 41.0 or something like that. I do not completely recall what it was exactly, but what I've been seeing lately is that Bitcoin is regaining its dominant position. So I personally think that we won't be seeing Ethereum surpass Bitcoin, but if it happens, we will for sure see something so out of the ordinary going on that I think the Bitcoin, overall, the crypto space will explode if Ethereum takes over Bitcoin in the short term. I think eventually it will happen. We will see Ethereum dominance increase, but I'm talking about a long period of time. I'm a huge fan of Ethereum. I think they have a lot of potential, and I think they will actually live up towards the expectations that people have about Ethereum. So my personal opinion is that maybe in a time frame of 10 years we will for sure see Ethereum surpass Bitcoin, but just in the time frame of, let's say, the next upcoming 2 years, I think that won't be occurring as fast. But maybe I'm wrong, and I would be very glad to see Ethereum surpassing Bitcoin in a, well, shorter time frame than what I personally think that will occur. And let's take a look at the Bitcoin and Ethereum compared to Bitcoin chart, and what we are seeing here is something I personally think is quite important, because the EMA ribbon is actually right now not serving as a level of support, and you could see that once the EMA ribbon is below the chart, once the chart decides to test the EMA ribbon as a level of support, it gets rejected towards the upside, and once it tried once again, it got once again a pump towards the upside. So that is not something that is occurring right now. Actually, the 4-hourly candle, the last 4-hourly candle, even opened up underneath the EMA ribbon, and I'm personally just hoping to see this 4-hourly candle finding support on top of this level of support over here, and seeing a type of recovery entering once again the EMA ribbon, and we could possibly see eventually once again Ethereum breaking above the EMA ribbon and finding support on top of it. So for sure, very interested what the price action of Ethereum is going to do, and especially what the strength of Ethereum is going to be looking, how it will be looking compared to Bitcoin. And if we take a look at, for example, on the daily time frame, we see that the daily candles are still inside or above the EMA ribbon, and that's for sure something very healthy to take a look at. And as well, if we enable the moving averages are far below as compared to Bitcoin, and that is personally why I think it is very likely that we could still see a major momentum towards the downside getting started compared to Bitcoin on the Ethereum chart, because the moving averages are so far away. A possible retest of those moving averages is quite likely to occur. So we could be seeing Ethereum going even further down towards this level of support over here, and actually retesting at that certain point in time also the 15-day moving average over here. So for sure, I think it is likely that we will see Ethereum going down a little bit further, but it could also be possible that Ethereum will be finding support on top of the EMA ribbon on the daily time frame, and on top of this level of support where it's currently trading above. So for sure, both, it could be going either way, but I think if we see a momentum towards the downside getting started, we will get supported by the moving averages for sure. And if we take a look at the 4-hourly time frame compared to Bitcoin, and let's take a look at if we are seeing any type of bullish or bearish divergence getting started on the RSI. And what we're seeing on the RSI is actually something, we are not seeing any type of bullish or bearish divergence getting started, because we are not seeing higher lows and lower highs, or a higher high and a lower high on the RSI. We are not spotting any type of bearish divergence, right? Let's take a look. Or bullish. This is a higher low than the low where we're currently trading at on the RSI, and this is a higher low than the low where we are currently trading at. So no, actually the RSI is looking quite good. But what I think is very good to know is that once we break underneath the dotted line on the lower part of the purple box, we will for sure eventually head back up inside of the purple area. And this is also telling us that it is very likely that Ethereum won't be going all the way down, because if it does so, it will get supported at this level for sure, because it will not only be supported by the moving averages, it will also be oversold at that moment in time. And once it does so, we will see the RSI climbing up, and afterwards the strength compared to Bitcoin will go towards the upside once more. So for sure, very interesting to see. So Willika, you want me to, can you take a look at Theta? And I will take a look at Theta just afterwards I finished up with the Ethereum chart. And what we're seeing here is that actually on this RSI, we are not spotting any time of bullish or bearish divergence either. And over here, the Ethereum price action is in the middle of the RSI, so it could still go either way, towards the up or towards the downside. And lastly, I wanted to enable the MACD. And the MACD is actually telling us on the 4-hourly time frame that it is very probable that we will see, and during the upcoming hours, a crossover getting started. This might be in the next upcoming, let's say, well, let's say in the next upcoming 8 to 12 hours, we could see a crossover getting started on the MACD on the 4-hourly time frame compared to the US dollar for Ethereum, and afterwards we could see major momentum towards the upside getting started. And that's also why I personally think that it is very likely that we will see the price action of Ethereum still trade inside of these ascending triangle, and maybe creating even more touch points on the horizontal level of resistance, but also more touch points on the ascending support line. Especially what I'm currently waiting for is for Ethereum to get rejected by the horizontal resistance, finding support once more on top of the ascending support line to enter a trade position. Because I personally think at this point in time, you are able to already accumulate a little bit of Ethereum. If it gets out and breaks above the horizontal level of resistance, finds support on top of it, we will see that major move getting started all the way towards the upside, what I discussed earlier. And that is also why I wanted to look at this. And if at this certain point in time Ethereum breaks below this ascending support, for sure I will be shorting this major move, because I think that if we see a price action of Ethereum getting started out of this triangle, we will for sure see a major move either towards the up or towards the downside, and I do not want to miss out on that possible breakout. And if you're interested in trading, also do not forget to down below you will be finding several links where you can earn up to $2,000 deposit bonus on Femex, up to $1,600 deposit bonus on Bybit, and also on Gate.io you're able to trade 736 different type of cryptocurrencies in just one platform. So that is something also very great to take into consideration. If you don't like to just switch your assets all the time, you can just keep your crypto in one exchange, and they will have a lot of different types of crypto you can actually exchange on their platform. So for sure, very interesting to take a look at. And if you use one of the links down below, you will be supporting the channel by doing so. So very interesting. I'm sorry, I will be just moving a little bit towards the left. And let's take a look at Theta Fuel. Or just Theta. Okay. Let's take a look at Theta. Theta USD. Or I'm not sure. It might be possible. I think I have it in my... Yeah, I did. They're over here. Let's take a look. And this is Theta USD, and this is Theta token. This is Theta token. So yeah, I have it over here. I thought so. So Theta has been outrageously performing very good lately. This is compared to the US dollar. We have already seen Theta break out of this ascending triangle, and for sure this is a very well performing asset overall. I think it has a lot of potential for the upcoming days, and if you ask me, the risk versus reward is still quite low. I think you can still accumulate a lot of Theta with not as much of risk, and I'll actually get rewarded with a quite big reward. But personally, I would have said that you could accumulate Theta even earlier inside of this asymmetrical triangle, but still right now we saw the breakout occurring, and I personally think that you are still in the right time and place to accumulate even more Theta Fuel. So we saw this major move towards the upside getting started, and right now this move is actually consolidated above this level at approximately $8.91. So for sure, very interesting. At this level, it is trading, well, it is finding support on, and it has been rejected by this overhead horizontal resistance already for multiple times. We saw already 4 to 5 times that we were retesting this horizontal level of resistance at $9.95. So for sure, very important to take a look at what is going on over here. And what I want to actually see is, what I'm seeing over here is a parallel channel getting started. So a parallel channel, I think, is of utmost importance, especially because these channels are very important to me, because once we see a type of cryptocurrency or an asset or a stock trade inside of a parallel channel, it is very important because it is consolidating at these levels. And I think it is very interesting because most of the times these consolidation periods break out for sure towards the upside, and if we see a move towards the upside getting started outside of this parallel channel, we will for sure see a major move getting started. So let's measure this move. I always measure the move by selecting the horizontal level of resistance straight down towards the horizontal level of support down below. And let's say we see a breakout occur on Theta Fuel. The possible breakout would be a breakout of approximately 70, I'm sorry for that, a breakout of approximately 16% towards the upside, and that's for sure something very interesting to take a look at. And this breakout of 16% would also mean that Theta Fuel will be trading once more at approximately $11.57, and I personally think this is very realistic to occur, and that we will see Theta afterwards accumulating or trading once again sideways above this level of support at $11.31. So Night Ninja, yo, what's up, Toro? Is this time the final bottom for BTC? Is this the final bottom for BTC? So I will discuss BTC a little bit later on. I already did. So if you're interested in Bitcoin, yes, you can find it earlier during the stream, but I personally think that the bottom is reached, yes, for sure, because if we go down below the $30,000 level, below the orange box, it will be a critical level for Bitcoin, and I personally am not very pumped if that occurs. If Bitcoin goes below the $30,000, I personally think it will be quite difficult to head back up inside of the orange box. But right now I'm discussing Tether Fuel. So Tether Fuel, if we see a pump outside of this symmetric parallel channel getting started, for sure it will be heading towards the $11.31 level. Otherwise, if we see the 16% move towards the downside getting started, it will be heading towards the $6.84 level. And I personally think that if this occurs, we will see Tether Fuel breaking even further down and finding support on top of the $6.41 level. So for sure, very interesting to take this into consideration. So if this pattern breaks out towards the downside, it will be even a bigger breakout. If you ask me, I personally think that it will be a breakout of approximately 23%. And otherwise, if we break out towards the upside, we will see a 16% breakout all the way towards $11.31. So for sure, this is what I personally think that could occur on the Tether Fuel chart. And let's take a look what the EMA ribbon is saying and if it is confirming that this could actually occur. And what we are seeing is that once we broke above the EMA ribbon, Tether Fuel got supported by the EMA ribbon already multiple times over here, and right now it went straight inside of the EMA ribbon lines, but it was able to recover and pump right up and find support and got supported by the EMA ribbon. So the EMA ribbon is serving as a major level of support currently. I think this is very important because if we see Tether Fuel heading back of Tether token, I'm very sorry that I said Tether Fuel a few times. I'm a huge fan of Tether Fuel as well. If we see Tether getting rejected by this horizontal level of resistance at approximately $9.95, it will go back down, and I personally think that the EMA ribbon will be there to serve as support once again. And as well, this level of support inside of the parallel channel serves as a major level of support for sure at $8.94. So this is extremely good how it's looking on the 4-hourly time frame compared to the US dollar. And also, if we take a look at the daily time frame, if we enable the moving averages on Tether Fuel, what you are seeing is something as well very good looking, and that is that Tether Fuel is supported right now by the 50-day moving average, by the 100-day moving average, and the 200-day moving average is down below. So also the moving averages are confirming that if Tether retests this horizontal level of resistance at $9.95, it could possibly go back down, but it will not only get supported by this level of support, it will also get supported by the moving averages and the EMA ribbon on the 4-hourly time frame. So for sure, very, very good looking right now. And lastly, I wanted to enable the MACD to take a look what is currently going on. And what we're seeing over here is something out of the ordinary. It is a crossover on the MACD. I think it will be occurring during the next upcoming 4 hours for sure. Otherwise, in the next 8 hours, we will see a crossover getting started on the MACD, and after that we will see a major momentum towards the upside getting started. For sure, that would be also affecting the price action of Tether Fuel, and I personally think that it will be a major move towards the upside that we will be seeing on the Tether Fuel chart. And it might be possible that we will be breaking out above this horizontal level of resistance at $9.95. I personally think if this occurs, that we will be seeing Tether Fuel finding support on top of the $9.95 before heading even further. But that is very, very possible to happen. And if we see a breakout out towards the upside getting started, we will be heading towards the $11.31 eventually with Tether Fuel. So for sure, Tether Fuel, I think it's a very well performing asset. And if we take a look at Tether compared to Bitcoin, what we are seeing over here, if we take a look at the 4-hourly time frame, but let's take a look at the a little bit lower time frame on the, for example, 2-hourly time frame. We are seeing over here that Theta Fuel is trading also inside of a parallel channel, and it is very likely that we will see a breakout towards the upside occur. The EMA ribbon is still supporting Theta at this moment over here, and if we take a look at the MACD as well, the MACD is having a crossover on the 2-hourly as well, so this is very important for me. And let's enable the RSI just lastly, and what the RSI is telling us is that there are no types of bearish divergence or bullish divergence on the RSI. Let's take a look. Let's see this. So this is a higher low than this low, and this is a higher low than this low, what we're seeing over here, and we are seeing a higher high than where we're currently trading at. So everything is looking right, and the RSI is also right in the middle of the purple area, and this means that we still have enough space to break above the dotted white line before we will see the price action of Theta once again going towards the downside. And right now we closed the 2-hourly candle, and the start of this candle right away is a quite rough start, but what you're seeing is that the momentum towards the upside is right now, the buyers are moving this candle towards the upside, but it could go either way at this point in time, especially because we saw a doji candle closing before we saw this candle where we are taking a look at right now. And this candle is actually telling us that it might be possible that we will see a continuation of the move towards the upside getting created, and also the MACD is confirming that as well. So I think that we will for sure see this move towards the upside getting started on Theta Fueled compared to Bitcoin, and also on Theta Fueled compared to the US dollar. So let's take a look at the comment section, and what we are seeing over here is Willeke is linked a buy right now. So yeah, for sure, let's take a look at what we are seeing and what Link is looking like right away. But before doing so, I want you to take a look at downstairs on the description. You will find also a link towards our Discord server, and in the Discord server you will be able to communicate with each other and exchange all type of cryptocurrency knowledge you have. And the crypto server looks like this, and if you join right now, you will be a premium member right away for all the time that you will be in the server. So that's something very interesting as well. For the first 100 members, you will be getting premium access right away, so that's very good to know. So it will be highly appreciated if you joined our Discord if you would like to stay up to date about all types of cryptocurrencies. And let's take a look at Link for Willeke. So let's take a look Willeke. Where is Link? Right here. So there it is. Let's start with Link compared to Bitcoin on the daily time frame, because the daily time frame, as I said before during the live stream, it is just of utmost significance. And what I'm currently seeing over here on the Bitcoin chart is something very interesting playing itself out. I would call this a descending triangle actually, and yeah, what we are seeing is a breakout towards the downside outside of this descending triangle if we take a look at it like this. But I don't think this is a real significant pattern, especially not on the daily chart, because you would like to have more touch points. You would like to see something like this, for example, a symmetrical triangle getting started, and you already see that we are seeing 2 touch points on that symmetrical triangle. So yeah, for sure this triangle could be a possible breakout towards either the up or towards the downside. We already saw that we were multiple times rejected by this downward sloping resistance of this horizontal symmetrical triangle. And I think it is very likely that we will see the price action of no, the strength compared to Bitcoin breaking below this ascending support, especially because this support line only has one touch point in the past, and you need to see 2 touch points before a pattern can be actually spotted. So for sure right now this pattern is not as good as it could be, but I will be using this pattern right now because I think it is still it is quite reliable if we see Chainlink getting supported at this place in time. And also overall I wanted to show you this, the overall strength of Chainlink compared to Bitcoin. It has been way up in the past. We are currently just sorry people, it is very hot and that is why I tend to gasp, so I'm sorry for my gasping. I did not want you to see me like that. But let's take a look a little bit more closely, and what we're seeing over here is actually, if we see this breakout towards the upside, we will for sure see Chainlink getting further up. And is this a good buying opportunity right now? I will be answering that question just a little bit further after we discuss the Bitcoin chart. So let's take a look. We are on the daily time frame. Let's take a look at the moving averages and what they're telling us. The moving averages right now, they are currently saying that we are trading above the moving averages right now. Above, we are finding support on top of the 100 and 200-day moving average, and you could see that once we break below the moving averages on the Bitcoin chart, it is very difficult to get back up. So for sure I think this is a very important key level of support right now, and otherwise if we break below the moving averages, this will be serving as major levels of resistance. So currently I think we have to take a look at what the Bitcoin chart, Chainlink compared to Bitcoin chart is telling us and what will happen in the upcoming hours. Because if we see the strength compared to Bitcoin decreasing and even a breakout towards the downside getting created outside of this symmetrical triangle, I think for sure you would like to wait until you will be buying Chainlink, because you could be seeing Chainlink head further down. But as I said previously, the overall market right now, we are seeing the crossovers on the MACD compared to Bitcoin on the daily chart and on the 4-hourly chart, and I think that is something very important you have to take into consideration with all cryptocurrencies right now, because if Bitcoin is pumping towards the upside, we will for sure see the price action of Chainlink going up, and also maybe the strength of Chainlink increasing. So right now it's currently finding support on top of the moving averages and also on top of the ascending support line. So this is looking quite good for now. The EMA ribbon is actually telling us that we are currently broken below the EMA ribbon. So the EMA ribbon is serving as a overhead resistance, and that could serve as a potential threat for Chainlink to break out towards the downside. For sure, very interesting to take a look what could possibly happen over here. It is very likely that we will see Chainlink finding support on top of this ascending support line and eventually breaking out towards the upside, and it could be going either way at this certain moment in time, especially if you take the EMA ribbon into heavy consideration. But I won't be thinking about the EMA ribbon just for this period in time. It is good to just take a look at what it's saying to us, but what we're seeing over here is that we actually saw this crossover on the MACD, and the crossover happened just several days ago on the MACD, but it is not stopping anytime soon. And the crossovers on the daily time frame are very, very significant. So I think it is likely that we will see eventually this pattern breaking out towards the downside. But just to be 100% sure, we have to enable the RSI to see if we are not spotting any type of bullish or bearish divergence. And what I'm seeing over here is that we are not seeing any type of bullish or bearish divergence getting started. So for sure, I think this is very interesting to look at. And also the RSI is not completely at the bottom underneath the dotted line, and once it still has enough space to trade in between, it is very likely that a possible movement towards the downside could still occur. So for sure, Chainlink is not holding very strong compared to Bitcoin on the daily time frame, and that is also why I would like to take a look at the daily time frame compared to the US dollar. But before doing so, I will take a look at the comment sections. So Michael J. Hoyle, I'm sorry for the pronunciation, I'm not as good with names. Enjoying the content, came from Crypto Rover. Have you checked out BTC recently? We just broke 35k. So, well, I will be taking a look at BTC right away after I finish up with Chainlink, because I think that is very interesting news, especially because we were saying previously that we will be trading in between $33,500 and $35,500. So once it breaks above the 35k and even above the $35,500, I think we will be seeing a major move getting started, especially if we see the crossover and the MACD occurring. And if we are seeing that right now, I will be having this live stream until we see the crossover on the MACD on the 4-hourly time frame, because I want to take a look at that for sure together with you all, and maybe even starting a possible trade. So that will be very nice to take a look at. So right over here, we are not seeing any type of bullish or bearish divergence. It is very interesting. We are not seeing any type of major information on the RSI on the daily time frame. Let's take a look on the 4-hourly time frame. What we are seeing over here is that, yeah, we are not seeing either a bullish or bearish divergence. We are seeing lower highs getting created, lower highs on the RSI, lower lows on the RSI, and also lower lows on the chart. So the RSI is not telling us anything at all. Also, what we are seeing here as well is, if you, for example, take a look at this line over here, I will be extending this parallel channel, or actually I will be removing the parallel channel, and I will be placing this trend line over here. If I place the trend line from the beginning all the way like this, what you're seeing currently is that we are retesting this downward sloping resistance, and we are finding support of it. We were rejected multiple times by this downward sloping resistance. As you could see previously, we were rejected multiple times, and once we broke above it, we did not retest this level once. And what we are seeing currently is that we are retesting this level right now. So that is for sure something very, very, very important. So this is something I think is very important, because once Chainlink finds support on top of this downward sloping support line right now, we will for sure see a trend confirmation getting started. So we will see momentum towards the upside getting created. And also on the 4-hourly time frame, I want to enable the EMA ribbon to take a look where we're currently standing at. And the EMA ribbon is actually currently serving as overhead resistance at this point in time, and I personally think that is a major threat for Chainlink to break even further towards the downside. But for sure, it could be possible that Bitcoin will be seeing that crossover, and that we will see momentum towards the upside getting started. So that is something very, very likely that will occur. So Chainlink right now, I personally think it will be going down, and if we see a move towards the downside getting created, it could be a possible move, quite a heavy move towards the downside. If you ask me, I personally think that we will be seeing a major move towards the downside getting started, and that possible move towards the downside will be looking something similar to this. Just give me one small thought to measure it on the Bitcoin chart for us. And if we take a look at it, this major move towards the downside could be possibly looking something similar to this. And that would mean that we would see a major move getting created on the strength compared to Bitcoin chart of approximately 50. Now, well, that's just a little bit over 55 or almost 56%. So that is for sure something very important to take into consideration, that Chainlink right now is not holding as strong as it should, and it's very probable that it will break out towards the downside. So for sure, Chainlink right now is not looking very strong, but if it's able to stay above this downward sloping resistance where it's currently supported by, I think that will be for sure very interesting, because if we are supported by this downward sloping support line, personally, I think that eventually we will see a major move towards the upside getting started, but we will have to wait patiently until this happens. So right now, I think Chainlink will be going a little bit further down before we will see a major move towards the upside getting started. But if Bitcoin has a major move towards the upside, for sure the price action of Chainlink will be towards the upside as well, and you would not want to miss out on that for sure. So I see that there are a lot of different comments in the comment section. So hello everyone, and for sure BC, welcome to the chat. We are going to take a look at Bitcoin, and also a lot of requests over here, so I will try to take a look at all these requests. We will take a look at Bitcoin just for a small tad, especially because someone in the chat told me that Bitcoin is currently trading above the $35,000. I think that is very interesting. And let's take a look at actually the lower time frames. Let's take a look at, for example, the 1 hour time frame, and let's take a closer look at what's currently going on over here. Also, I will be enabling the MACD to take a look what is saying to us. The MACD is not having a crossover anytime soon on the 1 hourly time frame. That is something in particularly good, because we are right now in upward momentum. Also, I would like to enable the EMA ribbon. The EMA ribbon is for the very first time we were able to break above the EMA ribbon on the 1 hourly time frame on the Bitcoin chart. And right now we are heading all the way up towards the 200-day moving average over here of the EMA ribbon. This will be a major level of resistance, and I think that is for sure of utmost importance to break above it before we will see a crossover on the EMA ribbon, and the EMA ribbon supporting Bitcoin once again on the 1 hourly time frame. If this occurs, we will see a major move towards the upside getting created, and for sure Bitcoin will be able to break above this horizontal level of resistance and find support on top of it, finding support on top the 35,500 level where we were talking about before. So yeah, for sure this is very, very, very interesting how this is performing right now. And what are the volume levels saying to us? The volume is, well, quite high. There is quite high negative volume. There is not as high positive volume right now, so I'm not completely glad that we are not seeing major volume towards the upside getting started. I would like to see positive volume, even more positive volume, because that would also confirm the upward momentum of Bitcoin. So for sure the momentum, the volume has to change towards the upside. Positive volume has to come during the upcoming hours, and maybe we could see a major spike in positive volume as we saw on negative volume also during this drop. So it will be confirming this uptrend eventually. So the volume right now, it's not looking as good as it possibly could, but the MACD is, and also Bitcoin is looking very strong. We are seeing this major move towards the upside getting started, and yeah, I personally think that we will be able to break above this once we see the crossover of the MACD on the 4 hourly time frame. So let's take a look. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on. I have to. Oh, I think it is not working as it. Oh, we have a minor problem. I don't know what's going on. Very sorry for the inconvenience. Let's take a look. Well, let's take a look at the comments just during this period of time. Could we get a short squeeze on Bitcoin, do you think? Lots of shorts still out there. Yes, for sure, that is very true. The lots of people are very negative and very they are trading against the markets. I personally think that we are still in an uptrend even after that 50% pullback on the Bitcoin price action, and a short squeeze could be possible. And yeah, I think it could be possible. I am not hoping it will, but it could. It could. Very sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm not completely sure what is going on and why it's not working. So I really hope I won't have to cancel this live stream because I'm having these problems right now. So that would be that's not something I wanted to occur today. So well, I'm very sorry for this difficulties. I must say. Let's take a look at other charts. All charts are not working, so I personally think I will have to reload the site. Maybe it will be working right now. Yes, it is. Sorry for the inconvenience. Sorry guys, we were talking about Bitcoin. I'm very sorry this occurred. I do not know what actually was going on, so let's take a look a little bit further at Bitcoin. So a short squeeze, yes, it is possible. Let's take a look. Alex Harris, welcome to the chat, and Willeke, more and more isolated. So yeah, that's very true. Let's take a look. What are we seeing over here? We are seeing Bitcoin on the 4-hour, no, on the daily time frame. We are seeing the RSI, but I do not want to take a look at the RSI. I wanted to take a look at the 2-hourly chart, and I wanted to take a look at the MACD. Why do I want to take a look at the MACD on the 2-hourly chart? Because right over there we are seeing that the crossover is already occurred, and that we are still having major momentum towards the upside. So on the 3-hourly chart, also the crossover already occurred. So we are currently waiting for the daily chart, and also very interesting because since the beginning of this live stream we did not see this crossover yet, but right now we are seeing this major crossover on the 4-hourly time frame for Bitcoin. For sure, very interesting. Or maybe we saw, but right now we saw the beginning of this momentum towards the upside getting started. Well, right now it's just a period of time until we will see even more momentum towards the upside getting created, and I personally think we will see major moves getting started for sure for Bitcoin. And on the 1-hourly chart, we have to take a look at what is going on. So right now we are breaking above the EMA ribbon as we showed you before. I personally think that we have to break above the 200-day moving average, the thick yellow line that we're seeing over here, before the EMA ribbon will be serving as a major level of support. And also what I wanted to enable is something very interesting to take a look at, because that is also the RSI on the 1-hourly, and unfortunately that is not looking as good as it probably could be looking, because what we are seeing over here is that the RSI on the 1-hourly time frame for Bitcoin is breaking above the upper dotted line, and once it does so, it is very likely that we will see once again Bitcoin breaking below the dotted line, and also the price action of Bitcoin following towards the downside. So that is a possible probability that could occur on the Bitcoin chart on the 1-hourly time frame. Also because, as I said before, I personally think that we will be trading in between the 33,500 level and the 35,500 level before heading even further. So I'm actually planning on a retest of this horizontal resistance, finding support once again on $33,500 level, and eventually breaking above the $35,500 level. For sure, right now, if this occurs, I will be pumped as well. I would be really happy, but I would like Bitcoin afterwards to get supported by the $35,000 500 level, because otherwise it will be a pump without a real, well, stepping stone where you can find support on before heading even further. So your PC, there you go. Okay, let's take a look at Nano for sure for Gerrit van der Meer. So Gerrit van der Meer, I will take a look at Nano for you for sure. I think you're talking about the same Nano as I am, but I will just, yeah, you are talking about the same. So Nano, very well performing asset, rank 78. For the people that do not know Nano, it is a cryptocurrency with a market cap of just $950 million. I think it has a lot of potential, especially because it is a coin that, as you could see, has been in the market for quite a while now. And you can see that the all-time high was at approximately, let's take a quick look, at $33.07, and we are currently just trading at $7. So it is for sure a cryptocurrency that has a lot of potential to go even further up. And also, if we take a look at, for example, let's say the past 30 days. Now, well, let's take a look at the past 30 days on just Nano USD. And also Nano BTC. Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm reading the comments once again, and I've seen that Willeke also told me that the TLM request, that I forgot it. I will be taking care of that request just in 1 second. I'm very sorry. There are just quite a few messages, so that's why I'm not remembering them all. So TLM will be the next one, and I will be, for you all, just writing it down below. Unfortunately, yeah, I have it written over here. So TLM. Perfect. Let's take a look at what Nano is saying. So Nano currently, it is trading over here, and I will be starting by placing a Fibonacci retracement from its beginning of the bull market all the way towards currently trading at. So this is an April 2021. Let's go all the way to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you will be having a little bit more data. I think it is loading right now. Otherwise, it will be a pity. Oh, this is just March 2008. So it's fine. We don't need the data of the previous bull run. And let's start with how it has been performing during the last, for example, 5 months since the beginning of this year. So let's place this all the way towards its current all-time high. So no, not its all-time high, but its current all-time high of 2021, and it's almost 1970% up towards the upside. So for sure, a major move and price action for Nano on the overall market, and I think Nano has a lot of potential for sure. And that is also why I will be placing my Fibonacci from the beginning of the bull market at the 1st of January all the way towards its current all-time high in 2021. What we're seeing over here on Nano on the daily time frame, I will be enabling for sure the moving averages, and the moving averages are actually right now serving as support. So that is something in particular I'm very glad to see, especially because moving averages are major levels of support and resistance, and we are currently getting supported by the, well, we are trading right on top of the 100-day moving average, but we saw that many wicks of candles got supported by the 200-day moving average. So for sure, these will be very, very important indicators. And what we're seeing over here is that not just Nano, well, Nano as well, but we are seeing that it is getting supported by the 100-day moving average. So the 50-day moving average will serve as a major level of resistance for the short term, and also the 0.618 level of Fibonacci will serve as a level of resistance just for the upcoming hours. And that is something I think is very important to take a look at. And let's take a look at the MACD for Nano as well. And what we're seeing over here, let's zoom a little bit in more closely, is that downward momentum towards the downside got started on the 7th of June. And we saw that we already saw 2 days of negative momentum towards the downside, but the momentum wasn't it was not a big momentum wave towards the downside, and we are seeing that the crossover could still be there. Eventually, maybe just during the next couple of hours, we could still see a momentum switch towards the upside getting started. And especially if we see Bitcoin heading towards the upside, we will see this crossover for sure, and we will see the momentum towards the upside getting started, but also the price action of Nano towards the upside as well getting started. So very, very important to look at this and what could possibly happen on the MACD to see if the momentum switch will actually occur right now. And what are we seeing over here? So I think it is very good to place a few things to see where we are standing at right now. So we are right now underneath the 0.618 Fibonacci level at $7.75, and to head even further towards the upside, we will for sure need to break above this level. What is the EMA ribbon telling us? The EMA ribbon is currently serving as a major of overhead resistance. So the EMA ribbon and the 50-day moving average are serving as resistance currently, and that is for sure something you would like to take into consideration, because this could mean that once we retest this level of resistance at the EMA ribbon, we could be seeing the price action of Nano heading towards the downside instead of towards the upside. So for sure that is something you would like to take into consideration. And if we take a look at what the volume is saying, we are seeing right now huge spikes of volume towards the upside getting created. So that is also confirming the small trend towards the upside on Nano on the 4-hourly time frame, and that is for sure something very important to look at as well, because this means that we are actually seeing people buying right now, and we are seeing positive candles, volume candles getting started. So for sure we are seeing people buying Nano at this certain moment in time, and this is a legit pump towards the upside. So it is probable that we will be finding it quite difficult to break above the EMA ribbon and get rejected by the EMA ribbon before heading even further up. But it could also be possible that we will break out above the EMA ribbon and find support on top of it before heading even further and breaking above the horizontal level of resistance at 0.618 or $7.75. So that is just for now. And if Nano breaks out towards the downside, outside of where it's currently trading at, it is very likely that we will see Nano heading even further down. And the next level of major resistance and support, so the next level of major support would be around here at 0.786 Fibonacci, and that would be at approximately $4.81. So that is for sure something you would like to take into consideration as well, because if you are buying right now, it is very likely that if you break out towards the downside, you will be already losing almost, let's see, you could be losing a possible 33% of your total investment. So right now I won't be investing in Nano, only if we see a crossover on the MACD occur. For example, right now we are seeing a crossover on the 4-hourly, but on the daily time frame it still has to be confirmed. But if we see this crossover occur on the 4-hourly, we will for sure see it as well occur on the daily time frame. And as I discussed previously, that will be giving, of course, it's my personal opinion, but I think it will be giving Nano enough strength to break above the EMA ribbon where it's currently trading underneath. And if we take a look at Nano compared to Bitcoin, what we're seeing over here is a major decline in the strength compared to Bitcoin. And I will be placing this line because I personally think this is something very important to take a look at, because you want this descending resistance line to be broken above before we see a trend reversal confirmation. You want to break above this downward sloping resistance, finding support on top of it before even heading further. So as well here, I would like to enable the MACD on the 4-hourly time frame. And what we are seeing over here is that compared to Bitcoin, we are not seeing a crossover anytime soon. So it is very probable that once the crossover occurs on the US dollar compared to US dollar chart, that we will eventually see the lines heading a little bit closer to each other and a crossover occurring. And at that point in time, I think it would be a great moment to see the price action or the strength compared to Bitcoin break above this downward sloping resistance and finding support on top of it, and actually confirming that this downtrend compared to Bitcoin is over for the period and time where we're currently at. For sure, very interesting, and this could be happening. But right now, what you're seeing as well is not just this possible move towards the upside breaking above this downward sloping resistance. What you're also seeing immediately is this descending triangle, and descending triangles tend to break out towards the downside. And yes, we do not have that many confirmation points below, so you could be saying that this is not a valid triangle. But what I personally think is very likely to occur is that we still will see a major move towards the up or downside getting created outside of this triangle. And you could also be just taking also only the wicks of the candles, because we are also setting the downward sloping support line on top of the wicks. And if you take a look at this at this descending triangle this way, what you're seeing is that we already have 2 touch points on the downward sloping resistance, and we already had, let's take a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points on this horizontal level of support. So for sure, this pattern, I think it personally, you can't count this as a legit pattern that could occur. And if we see a breakout towards the upside, it will be a major breakout of approximately, let's take a quick look how many percent this breakout could be. Let's take a look. If it's towards the upside, we could be seeing a major move towards the upside of approximately 26% for Nano compared to Bitcoin, and otherwise we could see a 26% towards the downside getting started. And just to see where we could be possibly heading towards, that would be finding support at this level over here, I personally think, where you saw previously that Nano found support as well. So that is for sure something very important to take a look at. And I think by placing this few levels of support and resistance, that we are getting a small clearer view of what could possibly be going on. And if we take a look at this move towards the downside, I think we will get supported at this level over here where we got supported previously as well. So if this breaks out towards the downside, we will see the price action also getting towards the downside. But I personally think that we will see a breakout towards the upside, especially because we saw the momentum switch on the compared to US dollar chart almost crossing over, and eventually the crossover will also occur on the Bitcoin chart, and we will see major momentum towards the upside getting created. Lastly, I wanted to take a look at the RSI, and what the RSI is telling us is nothing actually very significant at all. Only we are seeing, let's take a look. Well, over here you could be seeing a bullish divergence getting created. That is for sure something very to know, we are taking a look over here at the 4-hourly time frame, and we are seeing that we are over here having a lower low on the RSI, but we are seeing a higher low on the regular chart. I will be removing the other drawings so you can take it clearer look at this, and I will be zooming in for you as well. And what you're seeing over here is a higher low on the chart, as you can see over here, due to the trend line, and we are seeing a lower low on the RSI, so you could be confirming this is a bullish divergence. So it is very likely that we will see that 26% move towards the upside getting created out of this descending triangle. So for sure, also because the previous momentum was towards the upside before this triangle formed itself, it is very likely that it will proceed heading towards the upside. So Anthony Spields, Bitcoin breaking 35.5k. So is Bitcoin breaking above 35k? I personally think, as I said before, if you would like me to discuss Bitcoin, you can go. Just a few minutes ago, I discussed Bitcoin several times. This is also at the beginning of the live stream. What I wanted to do for sure is the TLM request for Hamdi. And before doing so, I wanted to tell you that if you're interested in getting more crypto knowledge and exchanging your thoughts about crypto with others, do not forget to join my Discord server. It is active and ready to use. Down below in the description, you will find the link, and you will be able to join our Discord server just by following the steps on the verification new user. You will be able to join the server, and also for all new members, you will get premium access right away. So that is for sure something very good to know. No problem here from the mirror. I appreciate you for watching this video. If you like the content so far, don't forget to give me a thumbs up there. Thank you very much for that. And let's take a look at TLM. TLM, I always like to search it up because I do not know Alien Worlds. It is a rank 259 coin. I really hope you can find it on TradingView, and otherwise we will take a quick look at their website as well and what they're telling us. It is a coin with quite a small market cap, approximately around $136 million. I always like coins with a small market cap. I like to invest in coins that have a lot of potential to grow, especially if they have a great fundamentals. I think personally that this is a low risk versus reward, because they can become way bigger than where they are currently at. And if we take a look at their all-time chart, you can see that they started in April 7th of this year, and the price action went parabolically towards the upside, and afterwards we saw a major drop getting started. So during the past 7 days, we're seeing that we are at quite a bottom right now, and during the past month we are seeing that we are as well during the bottom. So I would like to read this just for one tad to take a look at what this is actually, what type of coins this is. The live Alien World price today. Okay, no, not there. Social alerts. So let's take a look. Alien World is an NFT, decentralized finance, metaverse that simulates economic competition and collaboration between players. This is achieved by incentivizing players to compete for Trillium, TLM, which is required to control competing decentralized autonomous organizations, planet DAOs, and to gain access to additional gameplay. In the Alien Worlds metaverse, players can acquire NFTs, digital game items, to mine TLM, engage in the battles, and complete in-game quests. Depending on their strategy, players may purchase and assemble NFTs that best suit their gameplay. Additionally, players may engage in governance by electing the council of 6 planet DAOs. Okay, so just shortly, this is for sure a game token. Game tokens can become quite big, but I think it is very, very important to know where they are actually collaborating with, because otherwise I think they do not have enough potential to become big. So I would like to take a look at their website and community videos, Binance research report, about roadmap, stats, future news, ranking. Partners. Let's take a look at partners. I think partners is very important. So they are partnering. Their partners are Binance, CoinMarketCap, and I like to say these partners, they are great partners for sure. They are very big inside of the cryptocurrency space. But these partners, they're not going to take a look at what your possible, let's say, what your real, if you're going to become a real great cryptocurrency and that you have the what you need that to take and to become big. You don't have that. So Play to Earn, Digital Assets Group, Crypto Logically, Unblock Capital, so Login Capital, LD Capital. So okay, right now I'm not very pumped because I like to see this type of collaborations for sure. It is very good to see One Block Capital. It is good to see Binance, CoinMarketCap, Moonwell Ventures. But because this is a coin that is meant to be for gaming purposes, I personally think it is very good to see this type of coins eventually collaborating with, for example, let's say I'm not a huge gamer, so I will have to, but let's say the makers of, for example, Fortnite, or any type of big gaming, let's say PlayStation, what else? Let's just, you want them to be working with the actual developers of games. And right now I'm not sure if Play to Earn is a very big brand. So let's take a look at Play to Earn online magazine. So this is an online magazine. Okay, this could be quite good. They are on an online magazine platform. I just don't know if they are. Oh, this is for blockchain gaming, esports, racing games, roleplay gaming, esports games. Yeah, for sure, if you're a gamer, I think you personally know way more about games than I do, because I do not know that much about games. What I just know is that I think it is very important for all type of cryptocurrencies to have great partners. And what I'm searching in a partner is especially someone that has potential to be in the future, to make this brand of, or this cryptocurrency, to make this cryptocurrency even bigger by collaborating with them. And personally, I don't see that happening right now on Alien World. And I will take a look at TLM on TradingView just to see if I can find it. So yeah, there it is. I'm finding it compared to US dollar. Let's take a look. So TLM right now, what we are seeing on the RSI, because the RSI is actually already enabled. The RSI right now is actually not telling us anything in particular. We are not seeing any higher highs getting created and lower highs on the RSI. Everything is looking good. And we are trading inside of the purple area. So the purple area is actually telling us as well that we are still able to go further up or further towards the downside. So for sure, this is looking good for now. What I want to take into consideration is actually, if we move towards the weekly candles, I would like to see that, especially, but it just started in April, so that is not very smart set for me. So let's take a look at this. It was a major pump we saw on the price action of this token. So I'm not really sure if this is a great asset. You saw 100% price drop. It's currently trading at approximately 14 cents. It had a all-time high over here at $7. And I personally think this project needs to be looked into more carefully. I would love to do it, but I don't think a technical analysis right now would be giving you the information you need for me, because I think you have to do a fundamental analysis first to see what their fundamentals are, what their white paper looks like, and what they're actually trying to become and how they will be doing so before you can invest. Because what I'm seeing over here is a major pump towards the $7. Afterwards, you saw a major drop off, and right now it's been trading for quite a while and it's just decreasing in value. So I don't know, you could be looking at this and saying it might be a great investment opportunity, but I think personally it could be better if you took a look at it yourself, especially to see what we are currently what the fundamentals are of this particular project. So the moving averages are not working on this chart. That is just a pity. They are working on the 4-hourly time frame. So what you're seeing over here is that they are suffering all three as major levels of resistance. This is not looking good at all. It could be possibly going even further down, losing even more of its value, and I wouldn't invest in this if you ask me. And I would love to read their fundamentals on their white paper and what they're currently working on and how their token actually works. But currently I would say that this token is not what I personally would like to invest in. So that is what I wanted to tell you about TLM. So if anyone has any other type of requests, please don't hesitate to ask them down below in the description section, and I will be in the meanwhile taking a look into a article about Mexico. So let's take a look. We already discussed El Salvador during this live stream previously, and that is also why I wanted to take a look at Mexico and what Mexico has to do with this. So I will be reading this, and afterwards I will be giving you a small recap about what we read. So let's take a look. Mexico lawmakers aim to follow the example of neighboring countries with proposed Bitcoin legislation. We are going to lead the shift to crypto and fintechs in Mexico, said one senator. Eduardo Murat Hinojosa, let's take a look. Eduardo Murat Hinojosa, a senator of the federal government of Mexico, has said he will be submitting a proposal to lawmakers seemingly aimed at crypto adoption in the country. In a tweet today, Hinojosa changed his profile picture to the feature the senator speaking into the microphone with the iconic laser eyes, indicating support for crypto. The lawmaker said he would be proposing a legal framework for crypto coins in Mexico lower house, specifically mentioning Bitcoin. Let's take a look what he said, and this is actually the post he tweeted. Voy a promover y proponer ante la Cámara de Diputados un mercado legal para las criptomonedas en México. I will be promoting and proposing a legal framework for crypto coins in Mexico lower house. So for sure, very, very interesting and very promising news about crypto engagement overall around the world. And I'm very pumped that Central America is actually right now the center, the epicenter that is actually showing the world how cryptocurrencies could become a mainstream payment method and a mainstream legal tender for sure. Hinojosa has not only Sorry for that, guys. Hinojosa has not only Mexico lawmaker initiating their support for crypto. Indira Kempis Martinez, a senator representing the Senate of Nuevo León, has also switched her profile to show laser eyes, with Hinojosa referring to her as a friend to the cause. We are going to lead the shift to crypto and fintech in Mexico, said Hinojosa. The social media activity comes as countries in Latin America have seemingly been taking steps towards greater adoption of crypto. In a video announcement to attendees of the Bitcoin 2021 conference last week, El Salvador President Nayib Bukele said he would send a bill to the country legislature demanding that Bitcoin would be made legal tender. On Sunday, Paraguayan Congressperson Carlitos Rejala hinted that crypto would be connected to an important project to innovate Paraguay in front of the world. Starting this week, yesterday he added that he was working with local crypto figures in order for Paraguay to become a hub for crypto investors of the world. For sure, I think this is very interesting news, and for sure I think these countries are doing exactly the thing that you need to be doing right now, and that is accepting Bitcoin as a payment method. Because if you won't be doing this right away, if you won't be legalizing cryptocurrencies overall around the world, the countries that will be doing this on the very last part, they will eventually just suffer because they did not legalize it earlier. And that is, of course, my personal opinion, but I think countries will be realizing that as well in just a couple of years. A politician from Paraguay, so this is the tweet he posted, thought Mexico has many individual investors who back Bitcoin. Authorities in the country reported last year that cartels had been increasing their use of crypto to launder funds. At the time, the head of the Mexican Attorney General's Cyber Investigation Unit said the country law enforcement lacked the resources needed to tackle money laundering when crypto was involved. So, yeah, money laundering is still something that is possible and can occur with cryptocurrencies, for sure. But I personally think that money laundering is possible in all types of way. If you take a look at, for example, HSBC, Hong Kong Singapore Banking Corporation, they are just for sure very, very bad at money laundering. They do not have the resources to actually tackle the problem even on their own banking system. So I think cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, has the possibility to look into all those types of news data that you have about transactions. And I think that eventually, if countries start engaging with cryptocurrency right now, in a couple of years time, I think money laundering will be way more difficult once we have cryptocurrencies overall as the main payment methods and also as the main economy overall. I think it will be even better also for money laundering. So for sure, very pumped about this Mexican lawmaker that is also pumping the Bitcoin news around Central and Latin America. And I'm very pumped to look at that right away. And as I told you before, I will try to get a live stream next week together with my sister, my half sister, who actually works and lives in El Salvador, to ask her what is going on there and how she's actually looking at the changes in her country. So very interesting to take a look. And Willeke, in the comment sections, you're saying thanks for the analysis. Willeke, thank you for watching the live stream, and if you're liking the content so far, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And also for the people who joined us right now, don't forget that you are also able to join the Discord server and talk about crypto over there if you use the link down below in the description. So let's take a look. Does anyone have any type of requests right now for me to take a look at? For example, XRP or maybe another type of cryptocurrency that you are interested in. If you have, don't forget to place it down below in the description section. And meanwhile, I would like to talk about the SOPR, spend output profit ratio of Bitcoin. And what you are seeing over here is actually, it's very simple chart. Once the SOPR is above 1, the one line is the horizontal line over here. The bigger, darker line that you're seeing right in the middle is the 1 line. Once the orange line, the SOPR, is above the 1, means that people are selling their Bitcoin with major profits. For example, over here at approximately the 28th of December of 2020, people were selling Bitcoin with huge profits. Afterwards, people sold Bitcoin with huge profits as well on the 8th of January. And they went all the way towards over here, where they sold Bitcoin with lots of profits as well at the 6th of April. And lastly, they sold Bitcoin with lots of profits at approximately the 18th of April of 2021. Afterwards, we saw this SOPR of Bitcoin going down, and right now we saw that most people are selling their Bitcoin with losses currently. For sure, that is something in particular that I'm not very pumped about, because I think, why should you even, if you were the person that bought Bitcoin at 60k, yeah, for sure, it wasn't that good decision. You could have bought it more, you could have made a smarter choice of when you would like to buy Bitcoin. I'm not saying that you did a bad transaction, no, for sure not. I think that the bad thing to do is actually sell your Bitcoin with losses, because if you hold on to that Bitcoin, eventually you will be able to get back the initial investment. And for sure, I think that Bitcoin has to be seen as a cryptocurrency that you would like to keep for a longer period of time, and that is specific what I'm doing over here. I am waiting for Bitcoin for over 10 years. I'm placing it on the ledgers, I'm placing it on my ledger, I'm letting it stay there and just leaving it there until the next 10 years, and I think we will for sure see a great price then getting started. And what the SOPR is telling us right now is that we are seeing once again that we are below the 1, and once it goes below the 1, it will head back up. And right now we saw it over here as well. Once you head below the 1 SOPR ratio, you will be heading back up. Below the 1, you will be heading back up. And right now you're seeing that we saw quite a decline right now in the SOPR. It could be heading a little bit further. More people could be selling their Bitcoin and actually selling with a loss. Maybe you are not, but it is quite possible, because lots of people on the SOPR are. And once it goes back up above the 1 line, I think we will see major moves towards the upside getting created, especially because the price is right now also at $33,000, and I think we will see the price of Bitcoin heading way further towards the upside. So for sure, that is the SOPR for the moment. Because no one did mention any type of cryptocurrency that that they wanted me to take a look at, I will be taking a look at Polkadot. I will be starting at Polkadot compared to Bitcoin on the daily time frame, and I will be enabling the moving averages. And what you're seeing over here is actually something quite interesting, and that is that Polkadot wasn't able to break above this upward sloping resistance. It was previously an upward sloping support, as you could see over here. Polkadot got supported at this level many times, multiple times actually, and once it broke above this upward sloping resistance, it wasn't able to find support on top of it and got rejected right away. And also the 50-day moving average did not serve as a level of support, but currently you saw that the previous daily candle was supported by the 100-day moving average. The body of the candle was able to close above it, but unfortunately I think we will still see a decline in the strength compared to Bitcoin. And if we see a major drop, I personally think that we will get supported by the 200-day moving average. And why I do think this is very important is because if you take a look to previous data, you are seeing that if we take a look previously, unfortunately we are not able to see the moving averages even further back in the time. No, that's quite unfortunate. But what we're seeing over here is something very good to know, is that once we saw this major dump compared to Bitcoin, we were supported by the 200-day moving average over here. And for sure, if we tend to break out even further towards the downside, I personally think that the moving average, the 200-day moving average, will serve as a level of support for sure. And also we have been trading inside of, for example, over here, I could be drawing a orange box. And why I could be doing so is because if you take a look over here, for example, in between the 0.5 all the way to here, this is a orange box because we traded in between these levels for quite a while and we found support and resistance inside of it. So I personally think that if we see the price action of Polkadot, the strength compared to Bitcoin even further declining, we will be finding support on top of the orange box over here. So for sure, very interesting to take a look at, and not just the orange box, also the 200-day moving average, as I told you before. So that is why I'm currently looking at on the daily time frame. And let's take a look as well on the MACD. And what we're seeing here is that the possible crossover on the MACD will occur. For sure, this would be a negative momentum getting created, and we will be seeing the MACD, the strength compared to Bitcoin decreasing and heading towards this level of support. But as we saw previously, Bitcoin is holding quite strong at a certain moment in time, and also we are seeing crossovers on the Ethereum chart, and this could mean that we will see a major move towards the upside getting created. And until we see the crossover on the MACD, if this doesn't occur, we will see more momentum towards the upside, and eventually we will see Polkadot recovering and trading sideways for a while at these levels where it's currently at compared to Bitcoin. Kevin, welcome to the live stream. I'm very glad you are enjoying it so far. If you enjoy the content, please give me a thumbs up. And overall, I'm quite bullish on Bitcoin. If it stays above the 30k inside of the orange box. Otherwise, I would like to take a broader look at what Bitcoin will be doing. So if Bitcoin stays above the $30,550, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin. If it trades in between the 30,500 and the 42k, and otherwise, once it breaks below the $30,000, I would like to be a little bit more careful, and I would say that my opinion would shift to bearish once it breaks underneath the 30k. But still, I always tend to say Bitcoin is something you would like to hold on, and I'm overall very bullish on Bitcoin because I think Bitcoin over 10 years will be the main asset you would like to be holding at that point in time. So I'm very bullish on Bitcoin if we are talking long term. So right now on the daily time frame compared to the US dollar, but we were looking at the Bitcoin chart, it is looking quite bad for Polkadot, especially because we are seeing that the MACD crossover could occur anytime soon during the next upcoming hours, and we could see more momentum towards the downside getting started. So that is something that you could be seeing over here. Also, let's enable the RSI, and what we're seeing on the RSI is nothing out of the ordinary in particular. So that is something I think very, very interesting. So right now, Polkadot, it's looking good, but it could be looking better. So I personally think that yes, it will get supported at this level over here compared to Bitcoin, but I still think that if we see more momentum towards the downside getting created, it might be supported inside of the orange box instead of above the orange box compared to Bitcoin. Also, if we take a look at the 4-hourly time frame, what we're seeing over here is that the moving averages are serving as resistance instead of support. They are all three above the current price action of Polkadot compared to Bitcoin, but what I wanted to enable is actually the EMA ribbon, and the EMA ribbon swifted towards the shorts right now at this period in time, just several hours ago, and I think this will serve as a major level of overhead resistance. So for sure, Polkadot compared to Bitcoin will be heading further down, is my personal opinion for the upcoming days, and I personally think and would like to see Polkadot finding support on top of the orange box over here at approximately 0.0005 Bitcoin, or staying inside of the orange box and finding support or trading inside of the orange box for a while would be still very healthy for Polkadot. If we take a look at the US dollar chart at the 4-hourly time frame, what we are seeing is actually that we broke below the EMA ribbon as well. Right now we are retesting almost the EMA ribbon for the very first time since we broke below it, and it will be a very difficult thing to do, especially because the strength compared to Bitcoin is looking quite weak. I think we will get rejected by the EMA ribbon and breaking further down below. So where could this possible breakout towards the downside be heading towards? As I said before, I think it is very likely that we will see that we will get support. I'm very sorry for that. This is, as I said previously as well during the live stream, I do tend to gasp when it's very hot outside, and it's quite hot right here in the Netherlands. So that is why I gasped. So sorry for you, and I do not want you to show you. So if we break further below, I personally think, as we took a look at previous data, that we will be able to find support at this level over here. I will be also drawing a orange box to just place it correctly so you can take a look at where we could be possibly heading towards. And why I think this is a level of major support and resistance, that's because we saw previous data showing us that we were finding support on top of it, and as we saw also during the past couple of weeks, we were able to find support of it on top of it or inside of the orange box once we saw this major breakout towards the downside getting started and that V-shaped recovery afterwards. So yeah, for sure, very interesting to take a look at what is going on over here. What we are seeing is that the EMA ribbon might reject us even towards the downside, and we will see the price action of Polkadot decreasing even further. Also, what we are seeing on the RSI is that the RSI is in the middle, or well, not in the middle, but it's inside of the purple box. So this means that we could still see more momentum towards either the up or towards the downside getting started. So for sure, if the price action of Polkadot is towards the upside, there is still enough space to break above the dotted line. And also towards the downside, we still have enough space to break up towards the downside. So for sure, the RSI is telling us that it could be going either way, and I personally think it is more likely to break out towards the downside for sure, just for the upcoming hours, because I personally think that we will get rejected by the EMA ribbon at this certain point in time, because if we take a look at previous data, the EMA ribbon rejected us multiple times when we saw this decline over here in the price action, and also once we try to retest it, for example, at this certain point in time, once we saw a small momentum towards the downside getting started, we saw that the very first time when we tried to test the EMA ribbon, we were rejected. We tested it once more, rejected, we tested it once more, and only on the third time we were able to break above the EMA ribbon. And I think this is a pattern that plays itself out quite often. So I personally think it is very likely that we will be seeing this price action of Polkadot heading even further down and finding support at approximately $18.40. So let's take a look at the comments just for a while, and what we're seeing over here is that Kevin, you're saying appreciate it. I've put a big position in at 34k and plan to go long. Thumbs up for that, and I'm very happy that you are bullish as well, because as I showed before also during yesterday's live stream, what we were seeing is that over here, if we take a look at the greed and fear index for Bitcoin, let's take a look. Yes, over here, what we're seeing is that there's extreme fear going on. Now there is even more fear as yesterday, and I think if there is more fear, there is more greed for us, people who want to accumulate Bitcoin in the long term. And I'm for sure planning on placing a long position as well, and I will be coming back to Bitcoin just shortly. I think you are interested in my opinion on Bitcoin, and that is why I will take a look at Bitcoin and when I will be entering my positions so far. So yeah, Polkadot, personally, I think it will be going down even further. Let's enable just lastly the MACD, and what we are seeing over here is a crossover on the MACD. So this could be possibly telling us that we will be able to break above the EMA ribbon, but for sure overall compared to Bitcoin it's not looking as strong as it possibly could. So I think Polkadot, we will have to wait for a while before we will see a major move towards the upside getting started. This could be a potential great momentum towards the upside, and maybe I'm wrong and we will be able to break above this level of resistance of the EMA ribbon and even eventually break above the $24 level and trade in between the $24.58 and the $26.25. So if we break above the EMA ribbon, we will be supported by the EMA ribbon, and we will see afterwards a breakout above the horizontal level of resistance and trade in between for a while before heading even further. This also all depends on this crossover on the MACD, but we still saw that a lot of indicators are telling us that we could possibly be heading towards the orange box down below. So yeah, for sure, that is what I wanted to tell you about Polkadot for the moment. And let's take a look at Bitcoin, because I wanted to show you where I would like to enter my positions if we are breaking up towards the upside and if we are going even further. So I want to take a clear chart for this, because what we saw over here is that we broke below this ascending triangle. We are right now currently trading underneath the 0.618 Fibonacci level, and we are seeing that if we enable the MACD, so once again, very sorry for this. I don't know why, but the Bitcoin charts are not working as they should sometimes. So that is just a pity. So let's disable the EMA ribbon. Let's take a look at what we are looking at right now. And actually, let's go to the 1 hourly time frame. So if we take a look at the 1 hourly time frame where we're currently at, we are seeing Bitcoin over here. And let's say that we are inside of a for example, a parallel channel towards the upside. So that is just over here, parallel channel, and let's place it from this wake of this body of this candle all the way up towards here, and just like this on top of the bodies of the candle, like that. So we are right now currently in this upward channel. So what I'm personally waiting for is for Bitcoin to break above this upward sloping resistance, finding support on top of it, and actually breaking out towards the upside. So this for sure is something that possibly could happen, and I think that will happen in the short term, especially because if we take a look at the MACD, as I showed you before, we saw already that we saw the crossover on the 1 hourly, and also if we take a look at the daily, we are seeing that we saw a crossover, and that right now the crossover did not occur, and that we are seeing even more momentum towards the downside getting created right now. So for sure, very important for Bitcoin that we still have the MACD and the positive momentum over there. And on the 1 hourly, we are staying inside of this parallel channel, ascending parallel channel, should I say. So if we break above this channel, I think a potential move towards the upside will be inevitable. What I would rather see right now, because we only have 2 touch points on the lower upward sloping resistance, upward sloping support, and we are only seeing as well 2 touch points on the upward sloping resistance. I personally think it would be great if we would see a third rejection, finding support once more on this upward sloping support, because at that point in time, this point over here, if we see once again Bitcoin retesting this upward sloping support line, that point is where I personally will be placing my entry for a long position. And I know lots of people would like to place their entry a little bit higher if you're trading more safely, but I think that I would rather trade with less leverage and trade with just small leverage and start my position over here, because then I would be able to add more to my positions all the way up. So that is what I personally think that I will be doing, and not think that is what my strategy will be over here. But if we break above this upward sloping resistance, I will be entering my position over here. So if we get rejected by this upward sloping resistance and we go all the way down and find support on top of this upward sloping support line, I will be entering my position at approximately, let's say, in between the $34 and sorry, $34,000 150 or $34,341, and otherwise I will be entering my position for example over here, and that would be in between the 35,369, or I would be actually waiting for the $300,500. So 35.5k would be my entry, and where I will be placing my stop loss, that is also what I would like to tell you. I will be placing my stop loss and both ways differently. If I place my stop loss on the $35,500, I will be placing my stop loss approximately just below it. And where would be that? That would be for me actually at this level over here at $33,941. And why I'm choosing for this particular level is because if we take a look, if we place a horizontal line, for example, at this level over here, it is not just a level of support or resistance, it is a level of support or resistance that we have seen previously, and I think this is something of utmost importance. And also it is a level where we found resistance as well, and if we take a look even further back, we will see that we have traded there many times. So that would be my level where I would place my stop loss if I entered my position at $35,500. Otherwise, if I'm entering my position approximately around here at $34,063 or at $34,129 or at, for example, $34,200, if I'm entering my position here, once we see a retest of this upward sloping support and we do not break below it, I will be placing my stop loss somewhere around here at approximately $32,520. So those are the two different stop losses that I will be placing depending on what the Bitcoin price action will do, and once it breaks above this upward sloping resistance or once it retests this upward sloping support. So I hope you enjoyed my vision on how I will be placing my trade on Bitcoin for sure for the upcoming days, and I personally think that we will be for sure seeing that long position going all the way up towards the 42k and even further towards new all-time highs. And that is also why I would like to place a position with not that big leverage, because I would like to place a position with a small leverage to be able to accumulate, to add and add and add more to my position all the way towards Bitcoin new all-time high. And for sure, I personally think that will be approximately around 58k all the way to 100k for 2021. Yeah, so this was my Bitcoin opinion. If anyone would like me to talk about another type of cryptocurrency, don't hesitate to ask down below in the description section, and I will be taking a look at it right away. If you want me to, of course. Otherwise, I will be ending the live stream for now, and I will be back in just approximately 1 hour to join you once again and starting a second live stream for today. So that is also a possibility. If you want me to talk about any type of cryptocurrency, don't forget to post it down below in the description section. So that would be really amazing. Otherwise, I would like you to show you that if you are willing to place a trade as well and you are interested in doing so, don't forget that down below in the description section you will find the different top 4 leverage trading exchanges for cryptocurrencies. On Femex you can earn up to $2,000 deposit bonus, and on Bybit you can earn up to $1,610 deposit bonus. And also down below on Gate.io, you can trade 736 different type of cryptocurrencies. And that is just amazing, because you can just on one platform make use of various type of cryptocurrencies without having to change and exchange it to other platforms. So for sure, that is something very good to take a look at, and you are able to leverage trade there as well, and also spot trade. So for sure, if you are selecting one of these links, you will be also supporting the channel by doing so. So that will be highly appreciated. And if you're liking the content so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. That would be highly appreciated as well, to stay up to date about all the news. And also, if you would like to join the Discord server, don't forget to use the link down below as well to join our Discord and exchange all your crypto knowledge with others and stay up to date about all the videos on the Cryptotoro YouTube channel. So thank you very much everyone for watching this video. I did not have any type of request right now, so I will be joining you once more in approximately 1 hour or 1.5 hours, and I would like to thank you once again for joining me on this live stream, and I hope you enjoyed the content so far. So thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.